Namaskar and a very good evening to the wonderful audience present in the live show. As promised, we are back again with another mesmerizing episode of the IFW show. आज ना तुम्हें थोड़ा सब्र करके बैठना पड़ेगा, धीरज से बैठना पड़ेगा। मुझे पता है आईपीएल चालू हो चुका है, माही भाई शॉट्स मारने आ रहे हैं, बट ये गोल्डन अपॉर्चुनिटी तुम्हें वापस नहीं मिलेगी। आज हमारे पास इतने बेहतरीन पैनलिस्ट है, विल बी टॉकिंग अबाउट so much amazing things that you will be definitely mesmerized. This 45 minutes is going to be a power packed session, and best बात तुम कुछ भी comments में उनसे पूछोगे, they will reply to you. So get ready and see, there is a thing that being an Indian, बचपन से मुझे सिखाया गया है that अतिथि देवो भव. Yes, guest is God. वो होता है ना, घर में कोई आता है तो आज 2 की जगह 4 सब्जियां बनेगी, एक रोटी ज्यादा हो जाए, आज तो मीठे में गुलाब जामुन ही होना चाहिए. एंड हाउ कैन वी फॉरगेट द पैराडाइज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ होटल्स. वो है ना हमारे पास एक जादू इंस्ट्रूमेंट जो बेड के पास पड़ा होता है. यस, वन चॉकलेट शेक प्लीज. यस, वन बटर चिकन प्लीज. यस प्लीज, कैन कम समवन कम एंड क्लीन माय रूम. See the magic instrument. Okay, and see, I agree that we are going through a pandemic right now and things have been changing, but we still are welcoming the guest with the same heart. We still are welcoming all the people with that kind of enthusiasm. It's just that hospitality sector has been evolving day in and day out after this COVID era. So in today's session, we'll be talking about how the hospitality sector has been evolving in this current era, and our expert panelists will be throwing light upon the current industry because they are the experts. And trust me, when I say experts, in total, we have more than 100 years of experience. Wonderful, right? So चलिए इसी बात पे शुरू करते हैं. वो बड़े बूढ़े कह के गए ना कि काल करे सो आज करे सो अब. सो अगर तुम्हें पैनलिस्ट की कोई भी बात अच्छी लगती है, एंड इफ यू वांट टू आस्क एनी क्वेश्चंस, फील फ्री टू राइट इन द कमेंट सेक्शन. ये मत सोचना कि मैं कल क्वेश्चन पूछ लूंगा, कभी और पूछ लूंगा. दिस इज द परफेक्ट टाइम, दिस इज द परफेक्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी. You should make the best use of it. Ask question about anything, about any hotel bookings, careers, how it is going to be in the future. Just make the best use of it. This is the best opportunity that you can get. So with this, let's start with the session. Okay, first of all, I'll be inviting our first keynote speaker. He is Mr. M.R. Sehgal, the director of IHMC Institute. But रुको, उनको लाने से पहले देख तो लें कि IHMC उदयपुर आपके लिए क्या क्या ऑफर कर रहा है. Fantastic. So let's invite our first speaker, Mr. M.R. Sehgal, the director of IHMC Udaipur. We welcome you, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for inviting me on this platform.
It's a pleasure having you over here, sir. We welcome you. Just to give our audience a brief about Mr. M.R. Sehgal. Mr. M.R. Sehgal is the founder and director of IHMC Udaipur, which is Institute of Hotel Management, Catering and Tourism. He graduated in the year 1989, and since then, he has never looked back. He has a golden 30 plus years of experience in core hospitality industry and has been shaping and nurturing many students' lives from the past 17 years. He is a key person for connecting the academics with the industry, and he also provides the industry with the best resource person. He also actively takes various seminars and classes for various travel and trade platforms. Today, he'll be throwing light on some of the current scenario in the hospitality industry and how the students of IHMC are preparing themselves for this current scenario. We welcome you, sir, and I'm sure that this session will be very informative to the entire audience present over here. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Yeah, thank you very much. See, done hotel management long back, and after that worked with the industry. I worked with the in Delhi with the ITD. At that time, only ITDC hotels were there. So we have worked with the hotel like Ashoka Hotel, the Samrat, the Akbar. We got exposure there. Then I have joined Lake Palace. That is Taj Lake Palace, Udaipur. And of course, with Taj Lake Palace, we went across to various other properties. We went to Taj Mahal, Mumbai. We went to Taj Palace. We went to Hyderabad and worked, seen the work over there, and we have implemented all the good SOP, standard operating procedures, what we could see there and we could implement in our property. Now we have I have also undergone various training programs. We have like very renowned name, Mr. Andrew McBurney. He was a very international trainer. So Mr. Thakulia, who is a very renowned name, so one
Yes, yes.
training. Now, how this idea has come up? This is the first hotel management institute which has come up in Udaipur in 2003. The idea was when I was there in Lake Palace, a lot of students from this area used to go to either Pune or maybe Bangalore for doing hotel management. Now, being Taj, Lake Palace was the only luxury property at that time. I'm talking about in 90s, 90, 91, 92, 93, those times. The student used to in their industrial exposure, we always used to get a lot of requests from the people of the around area that they should be exposed to this particular property, because we were getting more than 80% of foreign international tourists, and absolute luxury. So those were the crowd. We have learnt a lot, and I was always been a trainer of my department also, the other department also. So this is how it has come up into the mind that why there should be a good hotel management college in Udaipur, so that the student can be exposed to one of the best properties. And then other properties has come, and now we are having around 300 plus students, and every year our students are now working internationally. They are, if you talk about, there are a lot of students from Udaipur. They are working in Oberoi's, and they are working in Accor. They are working as a F&B director. They are working as a general manager. So we are very proud of our students, and they're doing very good.
Fantastic, fantastic, sir. So we'll be hearing more about IHMC Udaipur and your entire experience. So let me take the privilege to welcome our next keynote speaker, Geeta Chaudhary ma'am. So before introducing Geeta Chaudhary ma'am, let me tell each one of you that she is a veteran in the industry and she has been associated with a lot of great properties. So let me show you a small video of the properties which she is related to, and I'm sure आप सब देख के बोलोगे कि ऐसा भी कुछ है क्या इंडिया में. डेफिनेटली ऐसा होता है क्या सही में? नहीं ना? तो चलो देखते हैं. आया ना मजा. तो अब सोचो इतनी बेहतरीन प्रॉपर्टीज को मैनेज करने वाली लेडी कितनी ज्यादा बेहतरीन होंगी. सो हियर वी वेलकम गीता चौधरी मैम. Hello ma'am, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much, Naman. I'm overwhelmed to listen all the praises, and thank you so much that I am on this platform today. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So let me give a glimpse of Geeta ma'am to the audience. Geeta ma'am is the founder and owner of Terra Tales. She is a veteran in the travel and tourism industry. She has spent close to 25 years leading the sales and marketing teams of hotel chains such as ITC, Marriott, Wyndham, etc. She started Terra Tales in 2016 with a vision to provide a marketing platform to mid-sized boutique hotels that appeal to consumers who are seeking unique experiences. In her role as a marketer, Geeta ma'am is extensively involved in developing marketing strategies and plans and work closely with property management. She has been responsible and successful in putting hotel properties on tourism map of India with the support of an extensive travel network both within and outside the country. So we welcome you, ma'am, and I'm sure our audience is very, very excited to welcome you and hear from you.
Thank you so much, Naman. So I would start with my journey that I started in year 1995, joining ITC hotels. Before that, I worked with Shriram Foods and Fertilizers and Tata McGraw Hill. Though I joined an operations department, I was in the unit of one international marketing, where we used to manage the room bank of that inbound business for the ITC hotels. So being there, I learned a lot. I learned all the international inbound business, and slowly and gradually, I started looking for sales job, because once you are in operations, you are in the depth of business. You have that knowledge that how to operate the things, and what is the business like. I learned all of that from where all the business comes, who, what is the source, and who all are the foreign tour operators who give us the business. So I was very much into this thing that I have to join the sales department, and soon after I joined sales department. So I have been very successful. Why? Because I knew what is the source, who all are the travel agents here in Delhi, NCR, or in India, from where we can get the business, how many room nights, what all are the rates. So very authoritatively, I used to get business for the chain ITC. And that was the advantage for me to being in the operations and sales and marketing as well. So I developed my relationship in the market. I got a lot of exposure, and I also helped the travel industry to get their business materialized with our ITC chain of hotels. So from there on, I uh, kept my portfolio. Uh, yeah, and then in year 2011, I thought that it was, I by that time, it was 16 years, and I thought that I should move on uh, to some other chain, or should look for some other kind of portfolio. I joined Marriott Hotels then. But after joining Marriott, I realized that Marriott was not very leisure-friendly chain, and I started feeling very claustrophobic, because I was always into leisure sales and was handling inbound business. Uh, so then, in a very short span of time, I moved on from there. And then I joined Wyndham Hotel uh, as director of sales, travel industry. So in Wyndham also for 1 year I worked, but then I realized after working with a chain like ITC hotels, you can't adjust anywhere. And I also realized that by that time I had, become an ITCian. ITC had gone into my blood. So I decided to leave the job, and I thought that I should do something on my own. Uh, in year 2012, I was just contemplating, should I start with traveling or what should I do? And Then I started getting the offers for marketing for boutique hotels and standalone hotels. I mean, I did not have to struggle so much. Everything was on platter. So my first hotel was in Binsa, which is now being managed by Tree of Life. Then my second hotel was the Terraces Kanatal, which is a boutique hotel. Even the Binsa hotel was a boutique hotel. Then I got an offer from a wildlife resort, which is a very well-known resort in India. It is called Singinawa Jungle Lodge, and it is in Kanha. And after that, there was no looking back. I mean, my list kept on increasing. And
Fantastic.
and also I realized that when I was in ITC, I was driven by the systems of the chain, and I had to do whatever the organization expected of me. But when I had my own business, I started exploring various kinds of properties, various kinds of destinations, and they were exotic destinations. So that was an eye opening for me, that for so many years I was in hospitality, and this is one segment which is so beautiful. I mean, all my resorts or my properties were different from each other, and each property had some different kind of USP. Like the Terraces Kanatal is Himalayan facing. That is still with me. I'm still marketing it. On a clear day, you can see the Himalayas in front. And even if you don't have to do anything, just sit down in the lawns, read your book. You can do the sketching, or you can just enjoy the weather. It's beautiful. There's so many experiences also. You can go for trekking. You can go to the village for the interaction with the villagers. And similarly, each of my property, I kept picking them up after knowing what all experiences could be possible there. And then I started picking them up. I have three wonderful properties in Rajasthan. One of them is Castle Mandawa, which is a heritage hotel and one of the flagship hotels. Then I have the Desert Resort Mandava, which is different from a same family property, but it is totally different from Castle Mandava. I mean, it has total show of 360-degree view of the Thar, and you are in open. You have open gardens, and then you have a village theme. You have all the culture there of Mandava and Rajasthan. And there are artisans sitting in the property who are making different kind of things, drawing on the walls, making patchwork. So this is all so different from what I used to do, or from a commercial or a business hotel will do. So
Being
I
someone from Rajasthan, it makes me feel proud that we
Yeah.
have so much to offer.
Yeah.
And this is actually how the hospitality
Yes,
industry
yes,
has
I've
been
touched on that.
evolving. It's much more than providing just rooms or just food to the guest. It's about providing experience to the guest.
Experience to the guest. And then similarly, I became very active in wildlife also. I love wildlife. One by one, I started picking up the properties. I explored wildlife. With the sound of the call of the jungle, I could make out that there is a tiger around. So many things I learned from wildlife also. And so yeah, that is what I'm doing. I have a hotel in Agra. I have homestays on my portfolio. Long back, 20 years back, there was no concept of any homestay. There used to be very limited segments in hospitality, but now there is totally vast difference. So
Definitely
that is,
great.
yeah.
So we'll be talking about more about the hospitality segment and how different properties, and we will be also telling audience, like right now the audience thinks that they are only boutique hotels, there are hotels, there are restaurants, there are only stand on. So we'll be also talking to audience like what are the different types of wildlife resorts that we have to offer. Let's quickly invite our next guest. So last but not the least, let me invite Mr. Vipul Mohan, the general manager of Radisson Udaipur. But before that, let's have a look that what Radisson has to show you with regard to the COVID norms that they are taking care of.
COVID-19 has fundamentally changed the way we live and redefined the rules of travel. At Radisson Hotels, health, safety, and security worldwide is one of our top priorities. That's why we have thoroughly reviewed all processes and enhanced our procedures, creating an in-depth cleanliness and disinfection safety protocol in partnership with a worldwide leader in health and safety, SGS, to ensure guests' confidence and peace of mind from check-in to check-out. To meet new health and safety challenges, our guidelines include increasing cleaning and disinfection frequency, paying special attention to high-touch points, providing hand sanitizing stations throughout the hotel, using personal protective equipment and protective screens, implementing social distancing measures in public areas, respecting strict food safety procedures, and providing options for contactless, cashless methods of payment to minimize contact. Our safety protocol will be adapted to local requirements and recommendations. Because at Radisson Hotels, we know that even in this new era of travel, in the end, hospitality is about taking care of those around us. Every day, everywhere, every time.
Hello, sir. We welcome you, and it's a pleasure that you have accepted our invitation to be a guest on this show.
Thank you, Naman, and thank you everyone on the show. It's a pleasure too. It's always good to interact and conversate what we feel and what we do. So thank you so much, everyone.
That's fantastic, sir. So let me give the audience a little bit brief about Mr. Vipul Mohan. So Mr. Mohan has a very diversified experience in the sphere of hospitality, and he's also a social worker. He holds the position of general manager at Radisson Udaipur. He's also the zonal vice president of Consumer Rights Organization Udaipur and the president of Rotary Club Udaipur Uday. He is also an active member of BNI Udaipur and Global Association of Corporate Services India. He graduated from Institute of Hotel Management Lucknow in 2003. He had the privilege of working in various positions with leading hospitality majors such as Intercontinental Hotels Group, Radisson Hotels Group, and Rivendell Hotel Group in various leadership roles. He is a team leader, passionately focused on delivering brand values to organizations and an out-of-the-box thinking with a proven record to enhance profitability. He has successfully opened and positioned 4 international brand hotels. That is really fantastic, and our audience is very eager to listen to you, sir.
Thank you, Naman. And in fact, you have, when you asked something about to share with the audience, you have already shared my 80% of my life journey. Yeah, very nice. Thank you so much for extending this to all the audience. Well, of course, I always believe life is a long journey, and that's true, with problems to solve, lessons to learn, but most of all, experience to enjoy. My journey started when I was a kid and was always fascinated by the luxuries of hotels. And it was my dream to live life in similar way. The first few years of my journey in hotels have been a roller coaster ride where I have experienced a lot of sorrow, joy, anxiety, passion, and has achieved success and failures too. I moved ahead with my success learnings and got up to the ladder where today I am. Well, my accolades and my experience of hotels have already been shared by Naman. I always admire and thank the actual players who have actually contributed to making my every moment a success in a very special way. God was kind enough. I must thank God. In fact, whenever we start a good thing, we always thank God. So God was kind enough to give me directions. And today where I am is all with the grace of God. Naman, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was fantastic. So starting with the session, so the first question, so I am very curious about the hospitality sector. I love the hospitality sector. And like when I was a kid, I used to tell my dad, like every weekend, let's go to hotel, do nothing, sit on the bed, eat food, and yeah, just enjoy. So I'm a very curious person with regard to the hospitality sector. So I'm really sorry if I go beyond my questions to ask you a lot of things, because this is the perfect opportunity for me and the audience to ask you about the insights of the hospitality sector. So please bear with me and our audience, and let me tell the audience that this is a very wonderful opportunity because we have a fantastic panel with us who are experts in the hospitality sector. So thank you so much. So starting with Sehgal sir, I would like to know that what is exactly your life journey? Why did you choose hospitality sector? Like what makes you excited about hospitality sector?
No, Mr. Naman, see, in 90s, that time, very few people, very few students used to go into this industry. I think most of the students used to go either in engineering or in medical and all those areas. Now, what happened in Dehradun? This we are from the first batch actually of Dehradun institution at that time, because only 22 students were there, and I remember initially we were also were not very much aware what actually is going to happen in hotel management. Now, once we been exposed to the industry in Delhi and then to the Taj, so then we understood actually uh, uh, how actually innovative this industry is. And every day you get new this thing exposure and new what you call is new from the guests. You get
Yes.
lot of different requirement, and you have to handle those things. And slowly you understand that how you have to work. Now, this is the only industry, I'll tell you, in which a student or the professional has to understand nearly all other professions. Nearly all other professions. You talk about engineering, you talk about architecture, you talk about law, you talk about medical, you talk about music. Sometimes you never know. Guests in the morning, they ask in the evening what time the sun will rise tomorrow morning. So you need to know as a professional. So this is a kind of industry, I think, which develop one person into I think globally exposed person, then the personal and the professional, both they get developed. That is how this industry is. How beautiful this industry is.
Fantastic, fantastic, sir. Um, and I'm really sure that you have seen a lot during your years for the hospitality industry. Geeta, ma'am, I would like to ask you that what excites you most about the hospitality industry? A little bit about your life journey. That what excited you to be a part of hospitality industry?
See, first of all, you get to travel so much. You get to know about the destination so much. I would say that before I started my Terra Tales, I was a coop mandoop kind of a thing, as I told you earlier also, that you are driven by the systems if you are into an organization. But then when you have your own setup or own establishment, then you have to explore everything. So you get to know about a destination, their culture, their cuisines, their attire, and so those were all the things that I got really fascinated with until date. That is in me. Anybody talks about any destination I haven't heard of, I would like to immediately explore that on the Google. That why don't I know about this destination and what is there and can we do something there and do they have any kind of experiences, because as you know that Terra Tales is more into providing experiences at any destination. So that is the excitement. Now if anybody tells me, after being at ITC hotels for 16 years, now if anybody asks me, even my family, they say that let's go somewhere, and they will say, where will we stay? I will name them some resort or something. They will, no, can't we stay at any Taj hotel? Or I said, not at all. If you want to stay at any five-star hotel, I'm not going to go with you. I want to be at an experiential place where I can enjoy everything about that destination, also not the hotel only. Yes, of course, if you are looking for comforts, the comforts should be there. And yeah, so it's all about that. I don't look for that five-star luxury now. That's done with me. Nothing against that, but now I have moved on to other things. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely, ma'am. So it's just it's the perception of people that whether they would like to go for comfort. So talking about comfort and corporate hotels, we have with us Mr. Vipul Mohan, General Manager of Radisson Udaipur. Indeed, one of the best corporate hotels that we can have, one of the best hotels that can provide comfort and luxury. So, sir, we would like to ask you that what excited you to be a part of hospitality industry? What is your life journey? How did you start? We are very curious to know. Sir, I think you have to unmute your mic. Yes.
Is it good, Naman?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Naman. In fact, I was always fascinated by the luxury of hotels when I was a kid, and it was always my dream to live the life in a similar manner. And that's how it started. And when I graduated, I did my hotel management degree, and I started my through my campus interview from my IHM Lucknow campus. I got selected with Hotel Intercontinental the Grand in Delhi, which was one of the big luxury hotel during those times of era of 2003. Started with operations as a front office manager, front office operations, and then escalated towards a sales and marketing division and followed with operations. So the first few years, as I said earlier, were a journey of hotels was has been a roller coaster ride where there are a lot of experiences I had it in different locations. I have always on a move. I have located in different locations of part of India, and through my experience, it was always good to share my experience and get to the ladder with what I am today. That is always, and of course, with the support of the players who have supported me always, it has been very easy.
That's really fantastic, sir. And I am sure that with all your life journey, our audience is very fascinated and thrilled about the hospitality industry, what hospitality industry has to offer. And I'm sure that we also have a lot of students with us as audience, so they are very excited to join the hospitality industry in the future and how it is going to be. Coming to the topic, Sehgal sir, I would like to ask you that how the hospitality industry has been evolving in this COVID era. Like, what are the changes do you see? How the hospitality industry has been evolved as a whole?
Now, see, in if you talk about in the COVID era, since November, I think 2019, uh, since this COVID has come up, this is, I think, the only industry which has come forward with formation of SOPs initially, and they have helped the needy, I think, at the most. And now, of course, yes, our own training programs also we have to change a lot because this is the industry where you call service with smile. Now, if you see like mask with on the face and the shield on the onto you, and you have to give service, and moreover in the service industry, there is a formula of 738 and 55. That is 7% is the words, 38 is the voice, and 55% is the body language. Now, because mask and everything, I think we need to go onto the training programs, which more of the body language, so the guests always feel they are always being welcome. This is how the things are changing, and we are trying to cope up what actually is required, and it is ultimate. At the end of the day, it is the guest which has to be happy at the end, and he is always to be welcomed. That is there.
Fantastic, fantastic, sir. Geeta ma'am, we would like to know your views with regard to being a marketer, being a leading marketer. That how has the hospitality industry changing in COVID era, and what will be the evolution post COVID?
Yeah. So, see, now because my portfolio is of all the boutique properties, so each property is different kind. So, like the standard procedures take place at a five-star hotel or a four-star hotel. Our properties have different kind of procedures. They have their own SOPs. But yes, all of them have opted those guidelines from the government, like right from the time they arrive at the property, uh, getting down from the car till and then reaching the reception. So all the sanitization takes place, and and the transaction takes place, which is totally contact free. And so all those procedures are being taken care at each and every property. And when it comes to the changes after COVID, there are going to be a lot of changes. Why? Because I have been an inbound expert. Inbound business has totally vanished till the next year. So we have to survive on domestic business. We in hospitality sector, we have to generate some kind of experiences for domestic also. And domestic clients earlier never used to go for experiences. They used to go for leisure to any property or any hotel. So that kind of awareness we will have to make through social media, through digital marketing, and we are doing that. So yeah, those are the changes which are taking place and which will take place. And the new normal is going to be totally different what it used to be. Earlier we used to shake hands, we used to hug each other. That is not going to be there, at least I think till 3-4 years. Maybe it comes back later on, but not now. Many things are going to change. The way we used to be casual earlier, we will have to take care of many things. Our procedures have to change, as Mr. Sehgal said, that the training programs will have to be changed. So we even are at our properties, though we work more with the local communities, we have to train the people at the resorts and at our homestays accordingly, that what all they should take care. And training programs take place now. Yeah.
Okay, that's fantastic, and I think like we'll be promoting our Indian culture more, because our Indian culture always says namaste. Okay, we are not teaching it like touching
Absolutely.
you. And also like the other day I heard of a new word which has been added to the dictionary, and it might fascinate all of you. It's called elbow bump. Okay, where people like greet each other by touching elbows. So
Elbows and even feast.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we are learning a lot of new words: quarantine, COVID-19, and if nothing, like COVID has helped us improved our vocabulary. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Moving forward, I would like to ask Mr. Vipul Mohan that what should be the major considerations post COVID-19 to sustain in the hospitality industry per se?
A very good question and a bright question here. Naman, in fact, there are many considerations which would contribute towards sustainability during the post-COVID-19 impact, or we may say during COVID impact also. The major ones would be health and safety, which actually translates into hygiene and sanitation issues of the hotel. The key is to provide physical evidence of the hotel's concern for health and safety to our end users. If we really recall and go in past, in the aftermath of the terror attack which happened at the Taj Hotel in Mumbai, the hotel responded assuredly to security fears by erecting security checks at the gates of the hotel, along with the self and baggage checks and screening, which was done at the portico of the hotel, which was agreed by the guests and the users. This time, the checks and screening will have to be erected for health purposes. Now, having said that, the check for fever, which is a normal thing which we are doing it, which is done by a remote thermometer, shower a light sanitizer mist on the baggage, keep a hand sanitizer at the reception areas, elevators and lobbies and the guest rooms with the high touch points are cleaned periodically with sanitizer, ensuring the circulation of the fresh air in guest rooms and displacement of indoor air quality. So the guest rooms will have a sign mentioning henceforth to give a comfort to the guests who are arriving and the end users, stating that this room has been sanitized for your health and safety. This is one of the consideration which is very important in today's life of which is impacted by COVID-19 is health and safety. Having said that, the second greatest consideration would be of finance, which is controlling major cost elements, which is heat and light, payroll also a part of it, and food and beverage costs. This has to be controlled with several measures which we are learned and which we are guided periodically, and we have different checkpoints and consistently monitoring our expenses. Third major consideration would be on technology. The COVID-19 has hastened the need to use technology to allow least contact with humans. So these are the major three considerations which will fall in place and which have already fallen in place during the COVID and will follow in times to come. Yeah, Raman.
Definitely, sir. I to your point. Um, Sehgal sir, being a veteran in the industry with so many experience. So what do you have to like give your views in that? That what will be the sustainability factors?
No, of course, whatever Mr. Vipul Mohan said, actually, they are every day they are experiencing it, and they are working on it, and this is what is happening. Like recently, if you see F&B part, food and beverage part, you see buffets are there for the guests, but the service is done with by the staff only, and they can just indicate what actually all they need, and it is to be served onto the guest table. So there the processes are changing, and we have to adapt, and the staff has to adapt all those changes, and simultaneously we have to see the guest is happy at the end of the day. That is important.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, sir. Geeta ma'am, would you like to add on to what Mr. Sehgal and Mr. Vipul Mohan said? Like, what will be the sustaining factors in terms of marketing? I would ask, in terms of revenue about the hotels.
Yeah, so the costs are going to go down after the revenue part is going to be affected the most. I mean, other two speakers will also agree with me, because there are hardly any travelers. Whatever has started moving is domestic. So the revenue is going to be less, and the operational costs are going to be high at the hotels. And within a limited revenue, we have to manage, and we have to manage in such a way that we also take care of all the SOPs, and we also take care of the operations. Yeah, that is there. But slowly and gradually we will bounce back, I think, when the vaccine comes in the market. That will start soon, maybe in January or February.
That's fantastic, ma'am. Sehgal sir, being said that, being the director of IHMCTU, how do you think that the education has evolved in this COVID era, and what are the trainings or developments that have been provided to students or the employees that have been working in hospitality industry?
Yes, of course. Like since I think last it was somewhere March, we were we were supposed to uh, stop our offline classes, and then the thing came up with the online classes, and in with the students you have a lot of limitations. Some of the students are of the surrounding areas where internet connectivity is a big issue. Then we started slowly with the online classes. Now, as per the directives of the government, we are ready to operate as an offline classes also. For that, we are also trying and implementing all those training programs for our staff, for our faculties, for our hostel staff also. So when the students are there, so we follow all those norms of temperature control and the sanitization and the masks, and because the same thing we have to make students also understand that this is a must, and of course students are also getting agreed. One more thing which is good has come up in this time, that the students have become more innovative in the online mode. Whatever assignment we are giving to them, they are giving good presentation. Even we have done a lot of online competition. Even Mr. Vipul, we have done the cookery show also. The students have prepared. So they have come up with new ideas and new things, which is very good, because it is ultimate student once they take the responsibility of doing things, then I think that is the best thing they can perform in the industry.
Yeah. Uh, great. And people will now respect good hotels more than the budget hotels. Is it a good opportunity for properties like you, Mr. Vipul? And what do you think that what view as a five-star property contributing to the development and the trainings of employees, and how it's going to change basically?
In fact, Naman, the hospitality sector will require rigorous reskilling. Having said that, upskilling and new trainings for employees, apart from hygiene, various other aspects of customer services and back end operations will witness radical shift. This is just due to the new COVID implementation guidelines and the norms which we are following. The emerging technologies would also be implemented in all guest touchpoints such as contactless check-in and check-out, touchless room services, digital menus and sensors, and gesture-based controls. So there are a lot of changes would you would see in times to come, which has already been implemented, and would you will see a lot of more implementation would happen in next 6 months from now. This will result in redefined roles and responsibilities of employees too, handling different key areas. This will also ensure our employees seamlessly transition to their new roles and exceed guest expectations. Such trainings would aim to empower actually our employees to make the right decisions also. Though it is complex in this complex scenario, it is always better to be equipped to deal with such new guest requirements because the guest requirements have changed post COVID and during the COVID situation. Naman.
Okay, that's fantastic, sir. I would like to ask Geeta ma'am that since you're managing a lot of boutique hotels, so is it a challenge for you to maintain all the SOPs? Will there be some different kind of trainings that you're providing? And how TerraTales is contributing to promote these boutique hotels, to promote the SOPs? And like, what is the role of TerraTales over here?
So yeah, we are making our customers and our clients aware with for all the SOPs with digital marketing, and IFW is also contributing a lot for that. I mean, we are taking a lot of digital programs on the social and social platform. Uh, and as I said, that we have small properties and they are boutique properties. So every property is it's more of a challenge because as I said that if there is a big organization or five-star hotels, they have systems in place. They have a lot of funding also with them. But with the small hotels, I mean, you have to really work hard. Like you have to train your people, you have to as I said that we work with the local communities, so to make them understand the things is also a big challenge. And we ourselves go to the properties, we take we just notice everything what is happening and what should be done there. And we also tell them how can we promote all the SOPs on a platform, or can tell people that we are opting all these SOPs. So we get the videos made, we get the presentation made about the things we are taking care at the property, and then that is how we promote. Otherwise, how will people trust us? There,
Definitely.
we will have to tell them, and then we also send our newsletters to our customers and clients that what all we are doing and how the property is taking care of all the guidelines. So that is all we do. Yes.
That's fantastic, ma'am. I would like to know from Mr. Sehgal that where do you see the future of jobs in hospitality sector? People are right now a bit skeptical to enter into hospitality sector. They think that a recession period will come or something like that. So, where do you think the future of jobs will go in the hospitality sector?
Now, Mr. Naman, I'll let you know that even we were little uh, this thing that is what will happen to the students. But within a period of 6 months, you won't believe that we are getting a requirement from the hotels. Very recently, we had campus interviews from good Leela Group and We have got from Radisson also, even from the Radisson Blue also, Mr. Vipul. So the requirements are there for those who really want to work, and they look forward. And the students are also happy they are getting an opportunity at least to start their career. There are allied industries also. Some of our students being placed in the retails also. They have been placed with the Reliance. Some of the student has opted for the JK industry, guest houses, and all those. So there are enough opportunities for those who really want to make a career. So that is not an issue, and I think we are very hopeful that in the coming time everything will be normal and it will come up in a better way than it was previous. It was there. So we are very much hopeful, and the students are also now getting a hope that they'll be getting a job. That is true.
Great, great, sir. Vipul, sir, having said that, you have worked in so many hotels. So, what do you think? You manage a huge team. You have worked with a lot of people. Where do you think the future of jobs will be there in the hospitality sector? How it's going to go? Like, what exactly? What next?
I will second Mr. Segal's statement here, but will add up a bit also. The time has changed, the new era of a new normal, which is post-pandemic era. There has been a significant shift in the hospitality business operations. Now, while the shift had happened, the businesses will now certainly look for candidates that are more proficient at multi-skilling rather than setting up a specific role play. Candidates who possess distinctive qualities of problem solving, crisis leadership, and critical thinking will certainly get preferences. At our if I say, of course, as our dependence on technology for interactions with guests has amplified, similar way the digital skills in sales, reservations, revenue, IT, and marketing will be also in high demand. So there would be a shift of how the recruitment would happen and what kind of skills we would be looking at. The post-pandemic, it will change a bit. Naman, over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I'm sure, like as Sehgal sir said before that, now institutes are providing a holistic training to the student, and like the trainings and developments have changed a lot. So I think now students have become wholesome. They are not only skilled in one particular sector or one particular specialization, but they have been working on multiple platforms, multiple mediums, and I'm sure that institutes like IHMC Udaipur, they are getting students ready for the future and what will be the future of the hospitality industry. Am I right, Mr. Sehgal?
Yes, of course. That is what we are working on it actually.
Definitely. Great, 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 sir. So moving forward, I would like to ask Geeta ma'am that where do you see your business now and in times to come? Like what is going to be the situation of business?
So I will say it is going to improve a lot. Why? Because now people are looking at the places where which are less crowded, which are set in the nature, and yet they are fully equipped for the safety measures. So the kind of business I'm doing, that they are more about boutique properties, small properties. And believe me, the moment this domestic business started, I'm getting ample of bookings every day for my resorts and homestays in Uttarakhand. Though there was this condition that everybody has to go there with the COVID negative certificate, people took their COVID negative certificates, and they are reaching there. I have a homestay there in Landor, La Villa Bethany, which is sold out for the month of October. Today, this afternoon, I received a call asking for 3 nights booking. I told them that please call me tomorrow because there is a long stay block. If they don't confirm with me, then I will confirm it to you. So, it's really a nice thing that these small properties, which are neat and clean and very comfortable, they are selling very, very well, because also they don't have that kind of cost which any big hotel will have. So I see a lot of scope in that. And as of now, I have around 15 to 16 properties. And I'm also very choosy when I pick up any property. I mean, I have set some guidelines that I will pick up these kinds of properties only. I'm very particular about that. A property should be able to work with the local community and should be able, they should actually, enable them to earn their livings. So there's similarly, there are many other things, they should not use plastic. So when I pick up any property, so there's some norms, and on based on that I pick up them, and still I think there is it's growing, only this segment is growing. So yeah, I see that in the coming time we are going to grow. I can't tell you the numbers, that how many hotels I will have in my portfolio, but I see ample opportunity for that. Yeah, and also for Mr. Sehgal, his institute, students should be happy, because now it's not only two types of segment, business hotels or leisure hotels. There are ample of opportunities. There are yoga retreats, there are wellness resorts, uh, wildlife lodges, there is nature resorts, so many opportunities. And when it comes to experiences also, look at the experiences. 20 years back, who used to know about that the heritage walks also take place? But look at now, everybody knows about different kind of segments. They want to go for a cultural trip, they want to go for a wildlife trip, they want to go for birding. So I think it is going to grow a lot. Yeah.
That's fantastic, ma'am. Can we have your views also, Mr. Vipul Mohan, with regard to this? Being general manager of a huge hotel. So, what is your views with regard to this? Where is your business now and in times to come?
Thank you, Naman. When we talk about the giant hotels, of course, it's a bit challenging. Today's scenario business is a bit challenging, but it's a matter of survival also. And as I said, it's a matter of survival. It's not too difficult also when you have the right focus and strategies to implement of driving revenues or driving footfalls to your hotel to get that revenues in. But the right focus here is when we talk about what is now and what is future here, the right focus is how are we keeping our internal and external guests at the right pace of safety and hygiene is the first priority, irrespective of making money or contributing towards revenues. With ongoing efforts of keeping the hygiene and safety at the first priority of the guest, we are following the different norms which are being followed very strictly as stated by the government, which is of course an expense. But we are willfully doing it to ensure that they are my guests at the hotel are safe and they feel at home, irrespective when they're moving out for business or for leisure. Uh, Having said that, the hotel where I work, being Radisson Hotel, is the best fit for product for micro weddings, which have been introduced recently with the number of guests minimized or restricted, I would rather say, by the government to control over COVID-19 impact further. It's the right fix for micro weddings and smaller corporate events. We also have a lot of business travelers who come for one nighters or two nighters and who stay with us. That's the right place for them also to stay at hotels rather than the standalone properties. Having said that, leisure destinations, of course, they are the standalone properties are also monitoring the norms and they're following it. But when they come for business, of course, they look for a brand name to follow for their stay. So this is the right fix for hotels or for guests who are traveling towards the airport. Future, future is looking bright. As I said, this will go with vein, and this will go with time. The future is looking bright as you see the trend of growth in business, which is coming and falling in place. And after the due efforts of hotels making a safe place for visitors and stay, I think there won't be any challenge in times to come, and this will fade up soon.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic, sir. And talking about future, I would like to know from Mr. Sehgal that how is the education industry moving forward? What is the future of hospitality education or the education industry?
I think since last 3-4 years, the trend is changing. Like previously, people used to do like after their 12th, they used to go to do the graduation and then the MBAs and maybe those kind of courses. Now, since the time this skill courses has come up, I think even from the government side also a lot of skill universities has come up. We have also come up. Our own institute has come up under the skill university now. So there is a in future there is a scope of skill only. I mean, besides the traditional courses. So I think a lot of students are also understanding, parents are also understanding that instead of doing the regular courses, the student has to start with the skill as soon as possible. From the government side also, I think from sixth class onwards, the student can choose any of his interest of skill, which is of course, I mean, if you get that an opportunity, by the time they have grown up, I mean, they will be learning a lot about the things they are passionate of. So the growth is there, and I think there will be a lot of opportunity for everybody. And we have to work continuously on this, and we have to work as per the norms. So that will be there. The future is good.
Okay, that's fantastic, sir. That's fantastic. And like, since we are running very restrictions to with regard to time, so going ahead with the Q&A session, we would like to give an opportunity to all the panelists so they can ask questions to each other. So you all are representing different segments of hospitality sector. So if you have questions with each other, please feel free.
I think we all are from the same industry.
Same industry. So, and we know about each other's industry also very well. I mean, segments also
There are
very, very
no
well.
kind of questions in our industry. Every day changes. So it's good.
Definitely. Going ahead, since we are running short of time, so we'll take only a couple of questions from audience. We have received a lot of questions and appreciation, but we'll take only a couple of questions. So this question is for you, Mr. Vipul Mohan. Mr. Tajinder Arora asked that guests are going to be looking for cocoon rooms. Cottages in resorts give the answer. They are well spread out in a couple of acres. How are business hotels going to cope up with this, where land is so expensive in cities, where you have no choice but to go vertical and have long corridors?
The question is very relevant, and thank you for asking this question. As I have been positioned in luxury properties earlier, and I have handled resorts also. So when I am now in a business hotel running this property, uh, the time has changed. In fact, the visitors, the guests' preferences is now to look for a place which is not a hideout places, which are city-centric places. City-centric places will not go in a wider location. It will always be business hotels or a smaller unit. And of course, the bigger units have been taken a place. If you see the trend of new openings coming up of a new project positioning, it is more of budget properties coming in place or mid-scale properties coming in place. So my answer is, of course, the trend have changed. People preferences have changed, and as per the guest preferences, the stakeholders are looking for a mid-scale properties instead of for upscale and upper space properties. So the guest preferences have changed. Hope I have answered
That's
the
fantastic.
question.
That's fantastic, sir. Another question we have for Mr. Sehgal. So Pooja asked that why would anyone choose to get into hospitality sector during this pandemic?
No, see, this is actually, you don't look pandemic. That is it is a going on process or something like that. There are a lot of challenges always come in hospitality industry or other industries also. It doesn't mean that the industry is going to stop. If you see the growth and compare with other industries, I think hospitality industry has grown up since last so many years in India at its best, and a lot of money been spent in the industry. So there is no way that of going back. So yes, of course, there are various processes and things may change, but the industry is not going to go there. It is going to grow because people are not going to stay at home. They always, whenever they, in a safety manner, they would always like to go from one place to another. So that is how industry is not going to stop. It will be doing much more better than the previous years. That is what we believe.
Yeah,
That's
one thing,
yes.
Naman, I want to add something to Mr. Sehgal's verdict, what he said. Hospitality and travel industry is 10% contributor in the GDP of the country.
Very
So you can imagine that it is not going to go down. It has to grow.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that answers to Mr. Pushpendra Singh's verdict also. So he's of the opinion that novel coronavirus has already started to affect the hotel industry and had caused the Indian hospitality industry losses of around 620 crore rupees, which itself is a huge amount in the initial days of lockdown. Various big hotel chains and small resort chains has started losses over 130 to 150 crores, whereas the alternative accommodation facility provider has suffered the losses over 420 to 470 crores, which is huge and bad for India market when the stock is already crashing. I just want to say to Mr. Pushpendra that when the sun sets, it doesn't always marks the end. It always marks that there is going to be a new day tomorrow. And rightly said by Geeta ma'am that hospitality segment contributes to 10% of GDP and it has to grow tomorrow. Like being an individual, I cannot always sit in four rooms. I have to go out. Okay, I may not be the expert in the hospitality sector, but I cannot always sit between four walls. I have to go out. I need to experience things. I need to be comfortable, get in the comfort zone, enjoy good food. So yeah, the sun is bright, and I think tomorrow is bright. Any final remark that we can have from you, starting with Mr. Vipul Mohan, as we are ending the session? Any final remarks from your end?
Well, in today's scenario, the remarks are always related to COVID, and we all should believe and should hope that we all should be happy and healthy in all difficult times. So, of course, follow all the norms, stay safe, and be happy with your families. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Mr. Segal, any final remarks for our audience?
Yes, of course. I think the same. We have to be very precautious. We should take all the precautions, and ultimately, yes, we should be happy at the end of the day. Things may get wrong sometimes, but always there are possibilities of correcting the things, and we have to always work on them positively. That is what is required.
Fantastic, fantastic, sir. Geeta ma'am.
Yeah, so I would say that COVID is not going to be there forever. Our industry is going to bounce back when things are fine. And yes, be positive, think positive, and be safe.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic. So thank you so much to our speakers for their time. I know that you are very busy, and thank you so much for taking out time from your schedule. Our audience is thrilled to have you. We are very thrilled to have you. Thank you so much for your contribution. With this, I would like to end this episode. I will see you next week, Friday, 8 p.m., with another fantastic show. So stay tuned and stay safe. Follow all the norms. Just be happy and healthy. Thank you so much,
Thank
and a
you.
Thank
very
you.
good evening to all.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.